YNW Melly hopes that a new lawsuit filed on his behalf gets him out of prison. The lawsuit accuses the Broward Sheriff's Office of cruel treatment and violating his constitutional rights. The rapper, whose real name is Jamel Demons, is accused of murdering two of his childhood friends back in 2018. Now, he hasn't been able to see or speak to any of his family members for the last 3 years, according to the lawsuit.
I can get the shorter cord. It's right there. You can get the longer cord.
Yeah, he been chasing like this.
I'm good right here. Look, he been be chasing like that.
That's not the music cord. The music cord is right here.
Rappers responded to Melly's attorneys, using his lawsuit as leverage to try to have him released on a plea deal. Melly is suing the Broward Sheriff's Office for inhumane treatment and wants to be released from prison right away. Rappers have responded to Melly's assertions that they haven't let him see or talk to any family members in 3 years by stating things like, "I like what I'm hearing right now. Melly man, give that youngster a shout out. Set him free. He's been there for too long." This is because Melly's attorneys alleged in his lawsuit that he has been staying in a frigid detention cell without access to food or human contact. It was also circulated. An interview from Melly's mother paints a disturbing picture of Melly's life in jail, making it sound like he won't last much longer. In an interview, she bemoans the fact that Melly was given a mistrial in his initial trial despite receiving appalling treatment while incarcerated. She claims they won't even let him check his mail or make a phone call.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
She would admit that she is devastated for her son and that she is unhappy with the way he is treated in jail.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
Due to Charleston, White's reaction that this is how Melly should live. The Melly case has garnered a lot of public attention. Just because he's a well-known rapper doesn't mean he should be treated any differently.
Even the YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing, about being mistreated. When you done chose to play somebody.
While some would argue that Melly's treatment is worse than that of his typical cellmate, Boosie reacted to the circumstance by expressing empathy for his mother's plight.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
He's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
Despite this, the federal government made Melly's case worse in response to his complaint. After being abroad for the last 3 years, Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah abruptly returned to the United States. The feds will use Mariah to accuse Melly of witness tampering after they immediately detained her at the airport.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Before releasing Mariah, the judge made her promise to testify in Melly's subsequent trial. "Thank you to my village," she posted on Facebook after she was freed. "I adore all of you. My plan, not God's." Mariah seemed to be stating that she will testify. She must do it legally even though it's not what she wants to do. She is crucial because, according to the federal government, they have phone records that show Melly coerced her into not testifying. They say Melly forced her to flee the country so she wouldn't be able to implicate Melly in court, regardless of whether Melly committed the crime of firing Chaser and Juvie. This witness tampering accusation also carries a life sentence.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Melly is mostly prohibited from using any form of communication while incarcerated due to the witness tampering accusation. Even YNW Juvie's father declared that he was aware of Melly's tampering and used code phrases to describe how he did it.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
to make matters worse for Melly, the authorities presented proof of Melly's admission to the crime together with more evidence to prevent him from getting a bomb.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
5 hours after the crime, they even made public a video of Melly dancing in a parking lot with Bortland, in which Melly appears content.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Because he didn't express any sorrow for his 2 closest buddies. However, he was filmed once more without Melly's knowledge because he was captured leaving the studio a few minutes prior to the crime. As you can see, Melly is the one who enters the Jeep's rear left seat. The argument that the shots came from Melly's location in the back left seat is supported by the court documents, which show that the rounds traveled from left to right in the vehicle. Melly's location was confirmed even by Juvie's mother.
Can you state your name? Your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But Melly's attorney revealed how the prosecution acknowledged that no handgun was ever discovered.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
However, the feds retaliated by disclosing the evidence they discovered in Bortland's residence.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with the witness.
Bryson Paul made the announcement. These are pictures of the notes that were found during the search of Bortland's residence. They show drawings that Bortland made that describe the jurors' appearance and show where they were seated. It appears that Bortland planned to harm the jurors.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
However, since the prosecutors still want to know why Fredo Bang was summoned to pick Melly up on this particular night, Bortland can verify all the information they wish to use against Melly, which raises concerns.
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location, to one of his friends, Frederick Gibbons. Frederick Gibbons is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Gibbons, then about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone call.
Additionally, Melly appears in a Facebook post with Young Thug, which they are attempting to link to the case. Because Melly went out with Young Thug, who is on the Red team, they are attempting to claim that Melly is on the Red Street squad.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Devins has the big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and see individuals again, I'm assuming that's also the Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
The news reported that Melly didn't care that her attorneys wanted to prevent this from being entered. Melly raged at his attorneys during this hearing, which was the first time he publicly disregarded the advice of his legal team in front of the court.
Yes, sir. Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
Melly said, "I don't care." In front of the court, "I'm not on any teams. That cannot be shown by them."
I'm aware that 924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
They were aggravators. They go to membership and again, there are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
However, they wish to present additional evidence in which a former member of Oblique revealed a secret that Melly had previously shared with King Van. Melly and Van were once friends, and King Von informed Oblique members that Melly had approached him for advice on how to handle people.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me, bro. Why you put that, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
However, Bortland's plea agreement is the most troubling aspect. Bortland was said to have accepted the plea agreement. Additionally, he accepted a proffer, which indicates that he is speaking. He will serve 10 years plus 6 years on probation. Less time served because the penalty is to accessory after the fact. His deposition has already been requested in the civil lawsuit. According to academics who deconstructed the exact meaning of this, the judge stated that in order for him to accept the plea, he must present a factual basis for both counts. He must provide an accurate account of how he was an accessory to the crime, proving that the crime actually occurred. He can't say yes, ma'am, when he is pleading with the prophet. Like Franklin, he was able to sing.
I did tweet out saying people are upset. I said this is a gunner plea. This is a gunner plea. This isn't a plea saying you have to tell on him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gunner plea. Why do I say he signed a gunner plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case, we covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually they have proved, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender. Also, the accessory after the fact plea confirms that Bortland, that's kind of like almost like a sub part of a conspiracy, except you weren't with the conspiracy at first. You came in after the fact. What that proved is that they came in. What that proved is that Bortland worked with someone after he acknowledged that a took place in trying to cover it up. You hear what I just said? When pleading to an accessory to after the fact, you have to acknowledge that it happened and you assisted someone or in some way to cover the. Now, if Melly's statement is, how do we know that? And then secondly, how do we know who did? Because they said it was a drive-by.
Melly will be found guilty because Bortland must describe how the crime occurred, which will reveal Melly's involvement, regardless of whether he mentions Melly's name when he informs the federal authorities that Sackerser and Juvie died from a condition inside the automobile. However, the judge was astounded by Bortland's excellent plea deal. "I'm not sure how your attorneys managed this," he replied.
And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct? Yes. And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, the terms of which are as follows. Number one, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the 23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first-degree. In exchange for that, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in Florida State Prison.
Bortland's possible punishment was reduced from 5 life sentences to just 10 years in jail, making this one of the greatest plea agreements ever. This prompted a different attorney to give the reporter his opinion. Bradford Cohen, the lawyer for Lil Wayne and Kodak Black, claims that after taking the plea offer, Bortland has bit the cheese and is probably going to turn on Melly.
All right, let's talk YNW Melly and YNW Bortland. He is now doing the triple Lindy. For those youngsters that don't know what the triple Lindy is, it is when you do several flips off a high dive, and he will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens. A lot of times where guys are in the prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve, he decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases, and I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time, but long story short is it looks like he's going to flip, and it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible.
In response, even 6ix9ine stated that Bortland had recently agreed to a plea agreement with the prosecution. "Melly is ready to eat. I told you about all these rap guys years ago, but they all singled me out because they were afraid of my size.